Hello. Welcome to today's webinar, Complementary and Alternative Medicine and Cancer, Show Me the Proof. My name is Sarah Tarani, and I'm the Program Coordinator for Triage Cancer. I will be moderating today's webinar. Before I turn it over to today's distinguished speaker, I just need to go over some housekeeping. All callers will be muted for the duration of the webinar. If you have any questions or technical problems, please type them in the chat box to the side of your screen. This webinar is being recorded and will be available for viewing on our website, triagecancer.org. At the end of the webinar, you will be redirected to a survey. Please take a few moments to fill it out and let us know what you think about today's webinar. I am also pleased to let you know that we are now offering CEUs to nurses through the Oncology Nursing Society. In order to receive units, you must have registered online for today's session. People who are listening in on someone else's computer are not eligible for credit. You also must attend the entire webinar in order to get the maximum number of credits. And within 1 week of this webinar, complete the evaluation. You'll be redirected to the survey at the conclusion of the webinar. Additionally, we'll be sending out an email reminder of this information on Friday by 5 p.m. Please note that on the evaluation, it asks for your name and email address, and you must include these so that we can certify that you completed the evaluation. The email address is where we will use to mail the certificates. If you have any questions or experience any problems, email us at info@triagecancer.org. For those of you who aren't aware, Triage Cancer is a national nonprofit organization that provides information and resources on cancer survivorship issues. And we provide this education in a few different ways. First, we host a speakers bureau of experts in all types of cancer survivorship issues available to organizations putting on educational events. If you read our speaker bio and request a speaker on our website. We also host and participate in events all over the country for patients, survivors, caregivers, advocates, and healthcare professionals. More information about our signature events like our Triage Cancer conferences and in-service training, you can visit our website at triagecancer.com. We have monthly webinars. The next one is on March 22nd and is about building stronger relationships with your partner after a cancer diagnosis. We also have the full 2017 schedule listed on our website. And finally, we have a plethora of online resources and tools available for free. For example, we have charts of state laws on employment, disability, and health insurance-related issues. We have quick guides on various topics such as employment, finance, privacy, and clinical trials that are designed to be sort of a snapshot of a particular topic. And lastly, we have an educational blog and e-newsletter where we post late-breaking news about cancer-related legal issues and other happenings around the cancer community. Now, without further ado, I'm delighted to introduce to you today our speaker, Rita Abdallah. Rita is a licensed independent social worker supervisor and a member of the Academy of Certified Social Workers. She received her master's degree in social work from the University of Connecticut School of Social Work. As a founder of Turning Point Services Limited, Rita researches, writes, consults, and speaks on topics that help cancer care professionals provide a better experience for their patients. She's also the co-founder of Destination Hope, a dedicated group of survivors, oncology professionals, and passionate individuals committed to promoting the art of positive living for individuals touched by cancer. Rita?
Hi.
Take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great job, Sarah. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today on this amazing topic called complementary therapies in cancer. Before I get started, I have to give a couple of shout outs to people who reviewed the slides so that they can be as best as they can for you today. And first person I'd like to thank is Laura Pohl, who's over at the Society of the Institute for Integrative Oncology, or SIO. Laura, thank you so much. If you're online, so grateful for your time and your help in putting these slides together. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Society of Integrative Oncology. Laura's actually with the Smith Center for Healing and Arts, but she's a member or connected as a teacher advisor to the SIO. The other person who has been in my life for several years now, and I love her, is Betsy Glosik. She's an oncology patient advocate and 2-time cancer survivor. So Betsy, thank you so much if you're online, and so grateful for you and your time and help. I'm trying to get used to the technology, so give me 1 second, guys. I try to find my mouse, and it doesn't want to scroll down for me. The magic wand is slowly moving over to the next button, so give me 1 second. Sarah, do you mind advancing slides maybe for me, and I'll just kind of cue you?
No problem.
Thank you. All right, let's do this. So our agenda for today is to define and break down CAM, or Complementary Alternative Medicine, to discover the risks and benefits of 5 CAM therapies, to determine if CAM is the right choice for you, and getting some tips on talking about CAM at home and with your healthcare team. Okay. So if there's a slide that has information that you really like, please, if you have a phone that has a camera, don't hesitate to take a picture of that slide. It will save you time in the long run and writing perhaps. And if there is a slide that you really like and want us to share it with you after the presentation, by all means, just ask us and we will get it to you. Okay. So I thought this was a fun place to start. A gentleman walks into a store and he's trying to figure out what kind of complementary therapy might benefit him, and he picked up a box of pure snake oil. And so sometimes when we explore complementary therapies, we may run into some that cause some questions in your mind, and you're not sure about what to do or what steps to take. And so we're going to explore that a little bit more. Okay. So I'd like to start our conversation today with a case study. And this is a true story based on a conversation a physician had with me. And this is about a 36-year-old female named Sandy. She actually presented with advanced stage cervical cancer associated with pelvic pain. She was married and a mother of 1 young child. Sandy came to the clinic with her father, who was a strong believer in alternative medicine. At the time, the physician was unaware if the patient also believed in alternative medicine herself or was practicing any form of CAM. This was not disclosed at any time during the visit. Sandy completed chemo and radiation therapies with no available clinical trials. 3 months following her treatments, she returned to the clinic for restaging studies. And during the consultation, Sandy showed persistent disease in the lymph nodes. The physician recommended further testing and radiation treatment. At that time, the patient's father hotly reacted to the news by saying, "See, it's my turn to direct your care. Modern medicine has failed you. It's time to pursue alternative medicine." Several weeks later, the clinic received a call from the patient's family member. Sandy went to Mexico with her father for a coffee ground enema. She died during the procedure. Now, this is an extreme example of exploring complementary therapy, but one that deserves mentioning. We will highlight a particular diet that's associated, that includes coffee enemas, but that really hit the physician pretty strongly, and as you can imagine, probably shapes his approach to complementary therapies after having experienced the aftermath or hearing about what happened to Sandy. So let's use some buzzwords in our complementary therapy discussion today. What is complementary alternative medicine? Complementary means in addition to, alternative in place of, and medicine means treatment and care. This is about the simplest I could come up with in terms of a definition of CAM. So this is, again, you're either complementing what you're doing, using something instead of what may be recommended in a traditional medical setting, and what is the actual treatment or service that you're getting. So the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, or NCCIH, and I'll talk about who that is in just a moment, has decided to upgrade their terminology regarding complementary therapies. So as you see on the far left, those are the old terms, and the arrow pointing to the right are the new terms. Complementary alternative medicine is now called complementary approaches. And alternative medical systems are now called whole medical systems. I think the approach here is that it's complementary approaches, not so much that you're putting something instead of, replacing one over the other. With alternative medical systems, they're looking at the whole picture, the whole person. Moving along. What is traditional versus CAM and integrative? Integrative is also a buzzword in the complementary therapies world. The traditional medicine perspective is Western care. You go to the doctor, they ask you questions, you fill out some forms, they come up with some ideas of our plan for care. In the cancer world, it may include any of what's highlighted there in that purple square: surgery to chemo, radiation, immunotherapy, or a stem cell transplant. In complementary therapies, it's more of there are options that you might consider from any part of the world. And so whether it's a spiritual perspective, an energy perspective, or a lifestyle change that you might embrace during your cancer treatment, CAM, is that encompassing. Integrative medicine is a combination of both. And so you're looking at, okay, I'm going to go and get some chemotherapy and perhaps some radiation for my type of cancer. And in addition to that, I'm going to explore how perhaps meditation or therapy might benefit me at this time. So you're taking the best of the best, if you will, to take on your cancer. So some categories in CAM, and there are several here. And so we're going to break those down a little more specifically. I'm not going to read every single one and explain them. As you will see, there are quite a bit. And again, feel free to take a picture of a slide so you can explore them a little more deeply after the program. Our first category is nutritional therapeutics. And this is probably just a small sample of what you can do regarding nutrition, or what cancer patients have done in general, or the general population in terms of, maybe modifying a diet based on an illness. And so, I'm going to highlight maybe, let's do the ketogenic one for you. It calls for eliminating all but non-starchy vegetables and carbs and replacing them with healthy fats and high-quality protein. The ketogenic diet still requires much more research and is a diet that needs expert medical supervision. And so nutritional therapeutics is a big one for people, especially when it comes to not just a diet, but taking some supplements that they believe are going to benefit them. Pharmacological biological treatments. You can see here probably the most popular one, I'm going to presume, are going to be herbs or herbal extracts of this grouping. And so again, here's where you're looking at a group of different approaches, and clearly there's a lot of big words here that you might want to look into. Some of these may or may not benefit you, and we'll go into why just in a few more minutes. Exercise therapies. Sometimes your doctor may recommend that you pursue some exercise, maybe non-vigorous to start and slowly building your way up. And there's a reason for that. When your body is taking a really strong medicine and they're not sure how it's going to affect you as a patient, you might want to, again, start slow and build your way up as you move along. And two very gentle ways of approaching exercise at this time period is using Tai Chi or yoga asanas. And asanas is another word for poses. And so maybe you're doing stretching poses, or you're laying down and holding a pose for a certain period of time. Just taking it gently. Again, getting to know your body in relationship to the cancer is an important part of the journey and an important part of your story. Mind-body interventions. These are pretty popular, not only in cancer, but in the general population. And these are ones that have minimal side effects and great benefits. So if there was a place that you can focus your energies on, it would be using mind-body interventions. And this is where your therapy comes in, where you use your imagination to help work around these anxious and stressful moments. Or maybe you use music or smell to help you, again, relax and feel a little bit better. Whole medical systems. Whole medical systems are about an approach, a lifestyle approach. And for example, using Ayurveda, which is based out of ancient India, uses a certain type of categorizing an individual called doshas. And inside of one of these doshas, you have an eating plan, recommended exercises. You have a certain profile that you kind of come in with, they believe, when you're born. And so it's a philosophy of care. They used Ayurveda in India as medicine. And I believe that they still practice that way in some parts of India. Energy therapies. The one I'm most familiar with in this grouping would be therapeutic touch and Reiki. And this is but it's a way of a practitioner laying their hands on a patient or a client and using love as the force of connection between client and patient to help them relax, use their imaginations in a way that feels healing to them, and it's very relaxing in scope. Manipulative body-based methods. Some of these, again, may or may not be appropriate depending on your type and stage of cancer. Most of you probably are familiar with chiropractic work and therapeutic massage, where they're physically manipulating the body, again, to create maybe less pain and relaxation. Spiritual therapies. This is where the power of prayer comes in, and where people have groups or individuals, whether it's at a church or some other religious place, where people get together and pray for a person, a family, and so on, to ask for healing benefits or cure. And of course, there's the all-encompassing miscellaneous. And what could be included in this particular category is sleep, chelation therapy, vitamin infusions, copper bracelets, crystal therapy, color therapy, astrology, and my favorite, humor. There's something to be said for laughing your way through anything, including cancer. So my friend Betsy that I mentioned, a few slides back, the survivor and patient advocate, she was kind enough to post on a Facebook page and get some testimonials or sharing of what other patients have done and considered as alternative therapies. And I just took a couple of them and want to highlight them for you today. This particular individual had massage once a week, and she was actually told not to get it because it was believed to spread cancer. But her body needed to know that what she was doing with those 26 treatments was going to be okay. And she was on a mission to do whatever she could to take care of her body. She also used yoga and meditation at home and read daily and uplifting spiritual material. So I think it's important to know who the key players are in the complementary therapy world, the integrative medicine world. And we're going to start with the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, which is the federal government's lead agency for scientific research on all complementary and integrative health approaches across all diseases and conditions. So this is not cancer specific. This is a place where research is conducted, information is shared about complementary health products and practices. So this is where the scientists get to explore and clinicians get to explore how safe is this particular therapy and how does it perhaps improve or not improve health and healthcare. They fund and conduct clinical or basic research around the country, and they also have their own labs and conduct research there. The NIH Office of Cancer, Complementary and Alternative Medicine, or OCAM, is the cancer-specific government agency on complementary care. And they want to work on therapies related to cancer prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and symptom management. Their mission is to improve the quality of care for cancer patients, as well as those at risk for cancer and those recovering from cancer treatment, by contributing to the advancement of evidence-based CAM practice and the scientists that support it, along with the availability of high-quality information for the healthcare community, researchers, and general public. OCAM sponsors and conducts surveys, focus groups, and textual analysis, and they do this in partnership with clinicians and scientists around the country. The Society for Integrative Oncology is a nonprofit, member-driven organization dedicated to having research inform the true integration of complementary modalities into standard of care for all patients across the cancer continuum. So this is your watchdog group, your advocacy group. They host conferences for scientists and for clinicians, for complementary therapy practitioners. So they help a wide range of group and support a wide range of individuals who are passionate about bringing complementary therapies in healthy, safe, and effective ways to cancer patients. The American Cancer Society funds and conducts research. They also partner with these other organizations that I just mentioned, and they also share expert information, support patient, and spread the word about prevention. So some statistics. Why do we even bother talking about complementary therapies in cancer? Well, here's why. So if you look at this slide, you will see that if you look at the far left side of the slide, $328 billion is spent in general on alternative care, complementary health approaches. Out-of-pocket spending is $30.2 billion. So this is a force to be reckoned with. I believe that people, not just with cancer, but in general, are really seeking healthy options and ways to care for themselves in body, mind, and spirit. And the dollars are standing behind that. When you look at some of the breakdowns on the right hand and the more colorful circle, you can see where people are spending their money in a more specific way, whether they're spending it in prescription drugs, $54 billion, or getting vitamins at the tune of $12 million. and visiting people like chiropractors, massage therapists, or taking yoga at $14 billion. These are big numbers. And so you can see why hospitals are starting to pay attention and setting up their own integrative care clinics, because the dollars support that people are curious and they want options like this. So the NCI conducted some research and broke down, how people, again, I'm sorry, let me take that back. The NCI did in the research. And so if they get a pot of money, NCI being the National Cancer Institute, CAM being Complementary Alternative Medicine, what kind of research are they funding? And as of 2011, if NCI was the primary funder of a particular study, you can see that the most money has been spent in nutritional therapeutics. That's the vitamins that I mentioned earlier. And then your next number is in pharmacological or biological treatment, followed by exercise. So you can see that people are looking for herbs, vitamins, and again, lifestyle choices that really take them to the next level of their health. And so, you can only imagine it, with so much money that the NCI gets, that, where they had to focus their funding. I just found this so interesting on how they've had to figure out where and, what trends and what are people doing, and, what kind of research is needed to help cancer patients specifically in figuring out what is healthy, again, and effective for them. So NCI's research by projects, when we're looking at prevention, using CAM as a prevention tool, the most research dollars were spent in that arena. And then for those in active treatment followed second. And then there's symptom management, epidemiology, and then conferences. So your big dollars are in the prevention and treatment range. Why should the government be interested in doing complementary alternative medicine research? Because there are more questions out there in the complementary alternative world than there are answers. We don't know if you took a certain herb and you have breast cancer, what kind of outcome that you might have. You may be using something right now and you find it beneficial, but when it interacts with the medicine, you may have a reaction to it. And how you're using it, how often you're using it, especially when it comes to diets and nutrition, I would say it raises a lot of flags for people. And we really don't know how safe things are when you're taking a particular intervention during active treatment. So the government has, as you saw, has spent millions on trying to make some headway and trying to catch up and keep up with what people want to do and explore. And there's maybe not even enough scientists out there that can keep up with the work as well, or they don't have enough time and interest level to dedicate themselves just to exploring, the effectiveness and safety of a particular approach. Another patient reflection on what they did during cancer in terms of complementary therapies. I took up Tai Chi as my balance was so extremely challenging. She found it to be very helpful and actually stayed with it for 7 years before switching off to yoga. So let's take a look at 5 CAM therapies, and we're going to focus on adults in active treatment. I could spend hours and days breaking this down by disease type, by age, by comorbidities that may influence a discussion. And so we're going to make this really simple today and focus on just adults in active cancer treatment. And we're going to find out if we can trust or bust these 5 different examples. Our first one is physical activity. And we're specifically going to look at aerobics and strength training. There's now a growing body evidence to recommend physical activity that involves aerobic training for people with cancer. Research has found no harmful effects on patients with cancer from moderate exercise, and in fact has demonstrated that those who exercise regularly had 40 to 50% less fatigue, which is the primary complaint during cancer treatment. So I broke down some benefits and risks in pursuing aerobic strength training. Engaging in regular exercise increases muscle strength, joint flexibility, and general conditioning, all of which may be impaired by surgery and some therapies. Exercise is also known to improve cardiovascular function and protect bones. It also elevates mood, offering a drug-free relief for feelings of depression that may accompany a cancer diagnosis. Finally, exercise helps control weight, a crucial factor as studies have shown that gaining weight during and after treatment raises the risk of cancer recurrence, particularly for breast, colon, and prostate. Patients should consult with their doctor and healthcare team regarding restrictions and absolutely consider a program that tailors exercise for people with cancer. And so I have a resource at the end of our conversation today that is available to you regarding if you're interested in pursuing exercise. So, bottom line, aerobic training, some form of fitness, trust. Definitely talk to your healthcare team first, but this is one you can go ahead and pursue, again, starting slowly and building your way up. Our second example is sleep and rest. There's strong evidence that interventions to improve sleep reduces inflammation in cancer patients and also improves quality of life. A high number of cancer patients experience sleep disturbance due to emotional distress, which includes anxiety and depression. For others, it's the side effects of medications such as primary steroids, pain, and hot flashes that disrupt sleep. Another 5% don't sleep well because of pain. Sleep may have a positive effect on the risk of cancer recurrence. During sleep, the brain produces the hormone melatonin. Melatonin, a very potent stimulant for the immune system, has certain properties, which means it may help reduce the risk of cancer progression. Also, when patients rest enough, they're less likely to be sad, and there's evidence that depression may be associated with an increased risk of recurrence. A study submitted at the 2013 annual meeting of the American Society of Clinical Oncology reported that depressed women with breast cancer had a 50% greater chance of recurrence than women with breast cancer who are not depressed. Bottom line, trust. So get as much sleep in as you can. If you feel like your sleep patterns have changed and need some help, please don't hesitate to talk to your healthcare team about some strategies on how to get better sleep. Our third example is the Gerson Therapy. What is the Gerson Therapy? Drinking 13 glasses of fruit and vegetable, 13 total a day, but it's drinking it every hour. So you're drinking a glass of fruit or vegetable juice every hour, every day, 4 times 13. You're eating fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. You're going to take regular coffee or chamomile enemas, a high number of supplements, and you will be under the supervision of a healthcare practitioner. The goal of the Gerson Therapy is to restore the body to health by repairing the liver and returning the metabolism to its normal state. According to Dr. Gerson, this can be done by removing toxins from the body and building up the immune system with diet, detoxification, and supplements. The enemas are said to widen the bile ducts of the liver so toxins can be released. The Gerson Therapy has not been approved by the FDA for use as a treatment for cancer or any other disease. For most cancer patients, nutrition guidelines include eating a well-balanced diet with plenty of fruits, veggies, and whole grain products. However, general guidelines such as these may have to be changed to meet the specific needs of an individual cancer patient. Patients should talk with their healthcare providers about an appropriate diet to follow. So do we trust or bust this one? You may have already guessed. It's still out for questions. There's not enough answers and science and research to really determine if this is, a healthy option for cancer patients. And so please talk, again, I'm going to be the mantra here, but please don't forget to talk to your healthcare provider about pursuing something like Gerson Therapy. They would probably discourage you from doing this type of practice, and again, keeping you focused on probably a whole foods, plant-based diet instead. I thought this was a funny cartoon here. Discount acupuncture. Who wants to be thrown in a room like that? Not me. Anyways, let's look at acupuncture as a potential approach to a use in cancer care. So what is acupuncture? It applies needles, heat, pressure, and other treatments to certain places on the skin called acupuncture points or acupoints to cause a change in the physical functions of the body. This is based out of Chinese medicine. Acupuncture affects blood pressure and body temperature. It boosts the immune system activity and causes the body's natural painkillers, such as endorphins, to be released. The FDA approved acupuncture needles for use by licensed practitioners in 1996. The FDA requires that sterile, non-toxic needles be used and that qualified practitioners label them for single use only. More than 140 states and the District of Columbia, more than 40 states, and the District of Columbia have laws regulating acupuncture practice. And in research in cancer regarding acupuncture, most acupuncture would be recommended regarding any kind of pain experienced during radiation, chemo, perhaps surgery, that when it comes to nausea or vomiting that's chemo-induced, a practitioner may recommend that acupuncture would be helpful to you. So acupuncture is a trusted approach to dealing, again, with pain or chemo-induced vomiting or nausea. Other types of symptoms that may show up and you want to talk about how acupuncture may be helpful is something that you'll have to go back and talk to your team about. And how about fish oils? Fish oils are super popular these days. And what about when it comes to cancer treatment? They've been promoted as an easy way to protect the heart, ease inflammation, improve mental health, and lengthen life. Such claims are one reason why Americans spend more than $1 billion a year on over-the-counter fish oil. Experts will surely remain divided on their opinions about fish oil supplements for the general population, and don't expect any clarity about what to do anytime soon. Those undergoing cancer treatment should get doctor's approval before taking fish oil or other dietary supplements. Anyone who does take fish oil supplements should limit daily doses to 1,000 milligrams to avoid any potential side effects or health problems. So, bust or trust on this one? Not sure yet. Again, it would be worth your time and effort to speak to your healthcare team based on your type of cancer symptoms that you've already shown during treatment and so on, to make sure that there is no negative influence of taking fish oils during cancer treatment. Our second case study today is going to be about Ron. He's a 72-year-old male patient with advanced stage prostate cancer associated with burning with urination or dysuria. He is married and a father of 2 adult children. As a retired biochemist, Ron disclosed to his doctor that he planned to drink alkaline water throughout his 9 weeks of radiation treatments. The doctor encouraged this option and felt it was safe enough for Ron to pursue. At home, Ron charted his urination every day to determine alkaline levels in his system. During his weekly visits, Ron brought in his charts to the doctor for discussion. Ron did not have any reactions to the alkaline water, and he continued to drink it. In most circumstances, patients with this disease and course of treatment report increased burning with urination at weeks 7 to 9. However, Ron did not have any of these symptoms. The doctor was surprised and intrigued by the patient's response to the alkaline water. The doctor took it another step and conducted a study about the effectiveness of using alkaline water to reduce skin toxicity. And this study is now a published article for researchers, clinicians, and the general public to access to learn more about alkaline water and its effectiveness during cancer treatment. A happy ending, right? So if there was a slide to take a picture of, this would be it. So these types of alternative approaches would not be recommended during active cancer treatment. And so again, taking a picture of this, there are several of them here that you can research on your own in depth and learn a little bit more about why. Largely, I'm going to presume because there's not enough research out there, or that somebody had some sort of negative reaction or response to using them in active treatment. I'll leave that up for a couple of seconds. Okay, we're moving on. Now, let's talk about complementary therapies in you. Why would you want to pursue complementary therapies in general and more specifically during cancer treatment? Well, if you feel that health is a priority in your life, you're going to look at CAM as a way of supporting that priority. Perhaps you, again, exercise or pursue meditation or therapy as a way of helping you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Perhaps in a world called cancer, you may have experienced this at least once or 100 times. There is this sense that there's no control about what you're getting in terms of medicine, what it potentially is going to do to your body, how it's impacting you personally and your ability to stay active, healthy, and clear-headed. And complementary therapies might help you in that way. You want to feel better, and you might pursue, again, complementary therapies as a means of doing that. And as you saw in some of the different examples, such as acupuncture and exercise, you're trying to reduce pain, get some more energy going back in the body, and perhaps make the stomach feel a little bit better. So in the cancer world, we ask ourselves a lot of questions as patients. And sometimes we ask so many questions, and that's combined with high emotions and a place of uncertainty. And that combination of uncertainty, being overwhelmed, and having a lot of questions equals desperation. And when people feel desperate, and I've witnessed that time and time again as a cancer social worker, people make choices that may not be the best for them. And so when you're approaching anything during your cancer journey, my recommendation, based on many years of, again, humbly witnessing and working with patients and loved ones in cancer, is to be curious, not desperate. And so as you look at complementary therapies, these are the areas that you want to consider. How old are you? Are you going to run a marathon at 75 and you have stage 3 cancer? You probably don't want to push things in that direction. Are you going to stop everything that you're eating because everything, you might think that it's all bad for you and start over again? Again, Are you doing things from a place of desperation, or you're going to ask maybe a couple of simple questions? Maybe you pull out a few things out of your diet. Maybe you're going to encourage a friend to come to a yoga class with you. Maybe it's time to talk to a mental health professional about adjusting to your diagnosis so that you can explore the desperation piece in a safe setting versus making some choices that may not benefit you in the long run. Taking things one step at a time, asking one question at a time, and pacing yourself, and really getting your healthcare team on board with what you're exploring and asking is really the best way of handling this next step in your journey. So I've talked about, hey, you need to talk to your healthcare team. You need to talk to your healthcare team. Well, why do I keep saying that? And let me tell you why. You're going to explore perhaps a choice with your healthcare team to determine whether is natural, quote unquote, really safe. Some things that are out there claim that they're natural, but we really don't know whether or not they're safe. And your healthcare team is going to help you figure that out. Do it together. You are partners in care. Some alternative therapies or complementary therapies may say that you will get a cure by doing something. Not sure about that one. So again, asking questions with people who are going to help you figure it out is the way to go. People will also say that if you take the secret potion, or, if you go to this meeting and you learn about this particular product, don't tell your doctors about it, because they're going to say, no, that's not good for you. Don't even think about it. You may want to think again about going to that kind of a meeting. And because you really don't know, again, you're moving along treatment by treatment, how something's going to affect your body. It's best that before you do something, to talk to somebody who may have had another patient see that same kind, something, talk about it. There's a file cabinet in each and every nurse, social work doctor's heads. And I promise you, they'll pull it out of their cabinet to figure out how to help you best. So a good question to ask is, how do you begin to talk to your team? And I have a couple ideas for you. So let's say you're starting your cancer treatments, you're about to start your cancer treatments. If there's no place on a patient, a form that you fill out to talk about your history, then bring a list of things that you do that's not traditional medicine, and bring it with you to your first visit. Let them know how often you do it. Why do you do it is important. I know a lot of people who take vitamins and supplements, they may have had a reason 6 months ago, but if you ask them why they're taking it now, they really can't tell you. So be prepared to talk about why you're doing what you're doing. At each visit, talk about your CAM use. As I talked about earlier with Ron and his, charting of how he goes to the bathroom and reporting whether or not there's a burning sensation in the alkaline water. He was very upfront, honest, and clear with his doctor about the CAM therapies that he pursued. And so that really helped the doctor better understand Ron. And if there was any concerns, they could be discussed at the visit. So at every visit, if there has been a change or no change, you should be talking to your team about it. So asking questions about CAM with medications and treatment before and after active treatment. So when you come in for those 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 9 month visits, a yearly visits, you need to still share what you're doing. And the other piece too is, if you tell the healthcare team what you're doing and that how good it's been for you, I promise you, your team is going to put that in the file cabinet and share it with another patient. So you're paying it forward as well. If your healthcare team does not ask you about your complementary therapies, please be the one to start the conversation. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I remember going into a room and meeting with a patient for the first time, and the patient had a complete breakdown. She was upset because the doctor, oncologist, said to her, after she talked about all the vitamins and supplements that she was taking and has been taking for a long time, that she needed to stop them right then and there. And the patient was confused and hurt and didn't know how to respond. On the one hand, you can understand why the doctor would say something like that. It's because the doctor really has no idea how those types of interventions are going to impact the medicine that she's about to take. And so perhaps her approach could have been softer, for sure. It was helpful for me and the nurse to come in afterwards and kind of lessen the tension and anxiety that the patient was having in response to what the doctor said, and perhaps navigating or advocating for the patient with the, and talking to the doctor, maybe figuring out another approach for how this patient could do some things and feel some control over her choices so that she can feel better. So that's a step-by-step conversation. But again, it was great that she initiated it. Too bad that the doctor handled it that way. But yay, we have information as a healthcare team, and here's the plan moving forward. Hopefully that makes sense. How do you make a comprehensive wellness plan? I think this is a great question. And if you're a cancer patient, this is where you have some control, right? A comprehensive wellness plan starts with you. Let's talk about that. So, and I have a link that has a really detailed breakdown of each one of these. So if I was going to take these different categories and break them down, what do I believe in as a cancer patient? What do I value? If I value my spiritual health and well-being, what am I going to do maybe in addition to what I'm doing to help me get through cancer? Is it about praying alone? Is it about adding meditation? Is it about reaching out to a prayer group to support me? What is it that I can actively do to support myself from a spiritual perspective? And again, I will give you a resource that has a real great breakdown of these different components of a comprehensive wellness plan. And I can't tell you how wonderful that would be for you going forward. Again, that you have a plan in place. Oh, are you meeting your goals? Are you falling short of them? Do you need to adjust them? All those are delicious questions to ask yourself as you create this plan and as you integrate it and use it. How do you find a qualified CAM practitioner? Great question. Start with asking your healthcare provider. Again, we have file cabinets that are full of stuff in our heads, and we're willing to do research with you because you're not going to be the first or the last person to ask us for that kind of referral. Ask friends and family what they've done, and then come back to your healthcare team and ask whether or not this would be an appropriate person or therapy to use. Call a local cancer organization. Look online and check your sources. See if your health insurance provider would pay for some of the cost of that. Some insurance providers do pay for massage therapy during cancer treatment. Definitely one to check out. And find out, lastly, once you've identified a practitioner, look at their background, get referrals, figure this out, take your time with this. And once you commit, you have the confidence behind you because you've done all of the work. So some key takeaways from our program today. Create that total wellness plan. Set a goal for using CAM during and after active treatment. Talk to your provider about your CAM choices at every visit. Ask questions. Be curious, not desperate. Hire licensed professionals. And where do you go from here? And this is a great picture time for you, but I have something to offer if you're willing to take the next step. Triage Cancer, if you want to take a picture of that link, has kindly posted this one-page list of resources for you to take CAM to the next level. So it's a PDF that you can download and print. You can print 100 of them, share it with people. So again, I did this within the last month, so this is current information. If you have questions about these different resources, by all means, myself and Triage Cancer are here for you and very happy to help you do any legwork or exploration around this topic. So these are all on the resource PDF that you can download at triagecancer.com. But if you don't have the time, you can take a picture of this slide with a direct link to how to create that comprehensive wellness plan. The National Cancer Institute has an awesome breakdown of different types of CAM therapies that you can look at, and you can see it's broken down by patient and health professional. So if it's not listed there, you may want to ask more questions. But this is where they can look at research or lack of research in a particular topic. So the National Cancer Institute, OCAM, has this great PDF download. Again, it's on that one-page handout, that PDF on triagecancer.com. But you can go straight to the National Cancer Institute and get this free book. It has worksheets, tips, all kinds of resources to take you to that next level. And I mentioned about a resource regarding physical fitness, and Livestrong Foundation also has great resources for cancer patients and advocates for cancer patients. And the YMCA partner together to put a program for survivors at free or low cost. And you'll meet with a trainer who is specialized in cancer survivorship, post-rehab exercise, and supportive cancer care. And so sometimes families can get a discounted membership. So definitely worth your time to check out. And maybe you just need that extra push. Here it is. And if, let's see, I think that's in a week or so, the Annie Appleseed Project is hosting their 11th annual conference in Miami, Florida on CAM and cancer. So I would love to, I know we have just a few minutes and I'm willing to stay over. That's totally fine with me. But if you have questions, to please post them at this point. Are there any questions? How can you get the Livestrong program in your city? I checked and it wasn't in the greater Atlanta area. I would encourage, thank you for that question. Is it Tia? Hello. I would call Livestrong and ask them to advocate for you. And perhaps you're going to be that link between Livestrong and the local Y to get that there for you. Yeah, definitely go to livestrong.com. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? To piggyback also, Tia, you might want to even get your healthcare team to partner with you to advocate for this YMCA Livestrong partnership in Atlanta. Absolutely. Any early questions?
Rita, we've got one here. What do you do if your oncologist doesn't even want to talk about CAM?
That's a great question, Sarah. So if you begin the conversation with your healthcare, your physician, and you get some resistance or silence on the physician's part, you should probably talk to the nurse or the social worker. They are there to advocate for you. So don't stop if the doctor, again, you get some pushback or some silence. Please continue to find a person who will help you navigate through CAM and help you make good choices.
Right. There's another one that sort of dovetails into that one, which is which kind of CAM therapy is the oncologist most likely to be open to?
That's another great question. I would say your safest bets are physical fitness, meditation, cognitive-based therapies. They're probably going to be a little, a little doubtful or skeptical around energy therapies. But there's nothing harmful in doing Reiki Reiki type of therapy, where again the laying of hands or therapeutic touch. Those are very minimal. Their touch on the surface, it's not invasive and pretty safe. Is there a list of oncologists that support CAM? Oh, that's another great question, Tia. Wow. That's a tough call. I'm going to say I don't know. I'm going to say I doubt it, but I'd be happy to look into that and get you an answer. You know what? I bet the Society for Integrative Oncology, the SIO, may have an answer to that because they're actively looking for practitioners in all over the country to be set up to support integrative oncology, integrative medicine and oncology settings. So Society for Integrative Oncology, I would recommend talking to them. Super helpful people. Other questions? Other questions? We'll give it a couple seconds.
All right, I think we should probably move this along. We're coming to the 1 o'clock hour now, so let's go on.
Okay, excellent. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to Triage Cancer for sponsoring this wonderful program. And I thank all of you who came to participate. So grateful for your time and your curiosity to explore complementary therapies. Have a great day. Don't hesitate to download that PDF at triagecancer.org. Called CAM Resources. Have a great day, everyone.
Yes, and thank you on behalf of Triage Cancer. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. And let me remind you, if you are applying for CEUs, you do need to fill out the survey that will be sent to you at the conclusion of this webinar. Thanks again, and have a great day. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.